Attitude Broadcasting presents the Mr. and Mrs. Show.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Starring
the Mr.
Hey, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
The Mrs.
So happy together.
And welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Show. Mr. What are you doing over there?
I'm just drawing. I'm bored.
Why is it hashtag? Wouldn't it be at the Mr. and Mrs. Show because we want them to tweet to us?
Oh, fine. Really?
Anyways,
okay, hold on. Do you have to correct me during the show?
Well,
that's kind of what. Yeah.
I think we want this to be authentic, right?
Well, okay, what are you drawing over here?
Nothing.
Exactly. Very good. Just a blank canvas.
Anyways, welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Show. That is the Mr. who just decides to write, and that is the Mrs. who she has a good point. So
she always has a good point, but still, it's not about having a good point all the time.
Anyways, thank you for joining us on Periscope. If you have any questions during the show, any comments, we will talk about them. Anyways, welcome to the show, Mr. and Mrs. Show. Of course, as you heard in the intro, we are sponsored by Attitude Broadcasting.
Absolutely.
So, let us go into our next segment, Things That Make You Go,
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
things that make you go, yeah. Things that make you it's the things that make you go,
All right. So, things that make you go, So, mister, do you have a,
I do, but since I went first last time, do you want to go first this time?
No.
Oh, you don't?
What? Come on.
All right. Go
We
ahead.
like to do
Go ahead.
rotations here on
No,
Mr.
if not, I'll go. But if you want to go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. I don't like it when you make me go second because you see what it is. She goes back and finds what's the most meanest thing I can do
She
to my
does
husband.
not do that. No, don't you
What's the thing
start.
that I can really put in your back and turn that knife like 3 times over?
This is not a trap. Go ahead.
It feels like a trap.
It's not a trap. She
Well,
just
you
said
got
it
any-
wasn't a
you got
trap.
any
I gotta believe
okay,
her.
you got any danger music because it's coming. No, I feel it coming.
It's like-
You want a little bit of Jaws music?
Yeah, that's I was
Donut.
I
Yeah,
was
it's
thinking-
like
Donut.
you don't want to go in the deep end, but I'm getting ready to.
You're jumping in right now, so
No,
just go
I'm-
ahead and go.
Just
All right.
jump in.
Wow, this is bad. Mine this week is the what question. All right. For example, I will get a text or someone will say something to me, and the what question is what happened? What? It's like Stone Cold because they keep asking what. And I don't. Why are you looking with me that look? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
The Jeff Foxworthy thing, where a wife will sit there and ask you. You will get a text from somebody saying, "Hey, did you hear about so and so?" Or no, they'll tell you about something, and then your wife's like, "Well, or a car wreck, for example. Somebody will be in a car wreck, and your wife will be like, "Well, did they have insurance? What was everybody okay?"
I don't see what the issue is.
The issue is you always get the what question or the where or the how.
This is about the differences between men and women, right? So Jeff Foxworthy's got some new material. They're out doing a new show. So he had talked about the fact that, to a guy, he gets a text and he's like, hey, something happened to Billy Bob and, they were in a car accident. We should pray for them. And then, the spouse or, somebody like myself would be like, well, where was his wife and kids in the car with them? What hospital are they at? Do you know?
They
And then
just
it's
keep
just like,
asking.
I just got this text. I don't know anything else. So,
Okay, I get that.
So are you implying that at some point this week you received a similar type of text and I bedeviled you with questions?
I did not realize until I heard that how much it happens in a relationship where you get that text or something happens and it's like where, what, how, and why. And we talked about it actually as a family member, and it's okay because guys go that straight path. Women, I mean, in general, the surroundings and all. So we look at, to me, I look at it a little bit different because I look straight ahead more than I do around me as much.
You make absolutely no sense right now.
Really? I thought it made sense. I'm just saying. Guys
I'm
are
staying
more,
out of this one. I'm sorry.
For me,
I'm staying out of this one.
for me, and I know my brother, other people I've talked to, some guys go straight path, and women are more invested.
No, okay, all right, hold on. I'm not staying out of this now. No, I actually disagree with that because I know a lot of guys that ask more questions than some women I know. So that's not true.
I don't. I know more guys that ask a lot of questions.
I think
that don't
that-
ask as many questions.
I think at the end of the day, right, women, and this is a broad brushstroke, so I know there are women who don't fit this mold and don't care to.
Right.
And I would say even at times I'm one of them. But in general, I like to see the whole landscape. I think that men tend to focus on the one tree, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I'm
yeah.
I look at the whole picture.
Right, that's what I mean. I don't mean.
And you're looking at whatever tree it is somebody pointed out to you. So, and I do think that is a
To a
little bit
point.
of a difference in how men and women think,
Right.
right? And not necessarily that everybody does it, but certainly, it certainly does align itself not just at home, but in the workplace and other
By the way,
areas.
that's not a bad thing for men or women whatsoever. It's just to me, especially. It's just a lot.
Acknowledgement of the difference is helpful because
Right.
it gives you an opportunity to think about where the other person is coming from and where their mindset is when you're talking about something.
Okay. No, I agree with you on that. Okay.
So anyway, that was the what question or the how, where, why. You hear it a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, I
You
guess
got-
so.
you got anything?
I guess so. So apparently I ask a lot of questions.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's the. I know me and you.
I'm just
that's
trying.
our
I'm
big
just trying to
difference, I
think of like most of the time. I'm like, can we stop talking about this now? So I'm just trying to figure out like where I'm doing that because I'm usually like, I don't need to know that much.
Really? Really?
So my thing that makes me go,
Oh, now you got one. You see, I knew it was a trap. I knew it.
is it's not a trap.
It's a trap. It's always a trap.
No, mine is the fact that you spend more time with my mother than I do. And even to the point of kind of getting a little petulant when not invited to go to lunch.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love spending time with It's
Isn't that like your best friend?
It is. My mother is the Mister's BFF.
as I was always explained, you on your way to your wife's heart or your spouse is through their mother and their parents. I
don't know that that's true for women. I mean, it is true for men. If the mom likes you, then
Exactly.
your life is certainly a lot
It's a lot easier.
easier. I mean, although I've only had one mother-in-law and I love her, so
Or she's a saint. She raised a great man.
wow. Okay, so
You're on your own today.
all I can say is I believe this segment is just about over, isn't it? And just in time.
Okay, so what is so your thing that makes you go is that he spends more time with your mother than you do.
It's a little not normal.
What do you mean it's not
It's
normal?
okay. I guess I don't know.
How many other adult men who are married do you know spend more time with their mother-in-law than their wives
There's
do?
a good question
Well,
out
you
there
see?
for the listeners,
But
though.
there's a little bit
Okay,
difference. Our
terrific.
situation's a little bit
so
different.
here's the question of the week for segment 2, right? So I want to understand from our listeners how many married men spend more time with their mother-in-law than their wife. And let's not get weird about it, okay? I mean, like, the shopping, they go into lunch,
Anyways, no, so that was the things that make you go, Let's do real quick family adventure. Let's go real quick. So, as the misters always said, dinner is always an adventure. So
Absolutely.
why is it always an adventure? I want to know that.
It's always an adventure when we go somewhere to eat with the whole family in it. I mean, do you feel that way? We go somewhere and, it's great. I mean, it's a great thing to do. It's just always, it's always something going on. Family time is great.
Okay.
And that's why I mean it's always an adventure. Because the stories we hear from people in our family or things that are going on during the week, it's always an adventure. It's always something fun to hear. It's always a new adventure to me.
Oh, okay. So you mean adventure in terms of how much fun there is and listening to what people have been up to and some of the crazy things that come out of the kids' mouths and that kind of stuff, right?
Right. And I think a lot of families, some families don't have that because some of them, they don't spend. I mean, I don't know all families. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I know growing up in my family, I didn't spend as much time like talking at the dinner table and stuff like that compared to what I do now.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly fun. I think so I grew up in a dinner at the table. You sat at the table, the family, the entire family sat at the table for dinner. You got dismissed from the table, right? So you didn't get to just get up, but we always had good conversations, talked about the day, and just enjoyed spending time with one another. And then it would even be more fun when we had people visiting because then we would have a bigger table or maybe there'd, be a couple tables. And I think when you have family dinners and you're able to interact that way, whether it's just with your immediate family or with your expanded family, it kind of reminds you that it's really all about the togetherness and the fun. See, I thought you were going to go with the fact that we can never seem to figure out where we're going to go.
That happens time to time as well. I mean, that happens.
I feel like that happens everywhere with everyone. Though.
Usually,
No. It is. We raise it to a new art.
We do, but usually now we have that radius of where we go.
Yes.
So it's a pretty good bet of three or four
the
choices
Mistress BFF
maybe.
only has a short list of places she likes to eat at. So
Right.
so it's usually one of those, but it's always
That's a good thing, though.
yeah.
At least that helps rule things out.
Sure. So you can look at it from that perspective, but it's usually and that's once we've involved the family, but there's usually a little bit of fun that happens before that when we're trying to decide what we're doing for dinner. But it's always it always ends up being
It's fun.
exactly what we needed.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for this segment. We got one more segment coming up, the Mr. versus Mrs. Game Show. And we are proudly sponsored by Attitude Broadcasting. We put attitude in broadcasting.
Registration.
So, we have that also coming up. We're going to share our social media question of the week.
All right.
Is on the next segment.
Yeah, social media question,
which will be on our website, Facebook, and Twitter.
The Mr. and Mrs. Show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next segment if you stick around on Periscope. If not, for everyone else, thanks for listening. We'll see you. You can catch us on Stitcher, Spreaker, the Mr. and Mrs. Show.com, Facebook and Twitter, everything. See you next time.